Power 92. We are #1 in the streets.
That's right, Little Bit Straight Heat on your radio. It's right here on Power 92, the station that's been busting since 2001. And yes, welcome to it, all right? Hey. You know, I got Boogz the Beast on this line right now. He has a plethora of music that he has done, working for Kanye Camp, did a big song with Chloe. It's just too many to name right now. But welcome to the show, Boogz the Beast. What's popping?
What's good, G-Ball? How's it going?
Man, blessed, cannot complain, brother. You know what I'm saying? Just out here working, keeping it moving. You know how it is. It's, keeping the family fair. That's the job of a man nowadays. Just keep the family fair.
It's always been the job of a man. It's this clout chasing that's getting out of hand.
You know what? That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes don't really get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they think that's the way to go and the clout chase and do a whole bunch of extra stuff. Now, it's clown. I call it clown shit. That's really what it is to me.
The man, it's like the man's looking for credit for being the man, as opposed to his credit comes from how his family looks and how his family is treated because of his actions. He want an award for doing his job,
bro. That's exactly what's going on. It's like the participation award. You know, when you get the award for just. It is too much of that going on right now. And it's like what social media did was allow people to have people like that to get voices. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just seen something on the internet. I know we talking off topic. I just seen someone on the internet talking about mortgages against rentals. And the girl was just like, y'all who got a mortgage, y'all renting too, and blah, 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 blah. This is like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you just go?
Hold on. Like, when it comes time to sell, how you gonna? There's no equity in renting. You know what I mean? Like, dude, these are the same people that babysit their own kids.
Right.
You know what I'm
saying? Exactly, brother. Well, let's get into it, bro. We talking about production. We talking about life and production right now. You know what I'm saying? Boogz the Beast on production. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back. Talk to me about the grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you start off with? What was the introduction to your first beat machine? Like, talk to me about that, brother.
Well, like a lot of producers, I used to rap. So, I was in a crew called Euphonics, real big crew in Chicago. We threw a lot of parties, a lot of freestyle battles, a lot of, just DJ events, all kind of stuff. So basically, my story is not too uncommon for most people. We had artists in our camp. Shout out my man Big Face. My producer buddy Doug, he was a DJ. My brother Fonz was a DJ and producer, and they were basically working on like Big Face's project because he was the lead artist from the crew. And I had my little crew, me and my guys. We was rapping. Nobody, all right. Long story short, it was hard to get beats back then. Like, the only people that made beats had made a financial investment into equipment. And as you know, the equipment to have back then was an SP12 or MPC or, maybe ASR10. But the cheapest one was $2,500. But who had $2,500 in 92?
Right.
Ain't nobody had no $25, especially to spend on some equipment. We was doing pause tapes, you know what I'm saying? We would build Gemini 12-second samplers, looping up stuff. So basically, I had to start making beats to have beats to rap on. You know what I mean? It get kind of boring looping up the end of the Pete Rock interlude or the, you know what I'm saying? You get that DJ Premier instrumental, you just keep rapping over Dwick. You know what I'm saying? Rapping over Cream, the Cream instrumental.
Right.
I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So I basically started making beats because the producers in our crew, they were preoccupied. It wasn't like they thought we was whacking nothing. They didn't want to give us beats. They were busy. They were trying to, get our flagship artists off the ground. But I was impatient. I need some beats. I started making them myself, bro. Just
That's
going
what's
up to Guitar Center, like just going to Guitar Center and Sam Ash, just stand in front of the ASRT and stand in front of the NPC, just learning it, basically learning it in the store. Until you can find a house or somebody who got, uh, give you access to one, then you could just, mess with it all day. But it was wherever you can get on some beats or try to make some beats, you was gonna try it.
That's what's up, man. That's the grind right there. And I think that's most people miss that part. You know what I'm saying? You talking about $2,500 for a piece of equipment, compared to what's, going on right now. But we're not gonna get into the future. We're not gonna get into the future. What was like the process as far as getting your stuff? Well, you was rapping over your own stuff, right? That like
Mm-hmm.
most producers really want to understand the placement steps. You know what I'm saying? How do I get inside the room? What's the best way to get your music in front of people? Like what's
All right,
that?
this is an interesting question. I'm gonna answer it kind of dual answer, double answer at the same time. All right, being from the crib, we weren't trying to really sell beats. Like if you for those that don't know, like if you look initially into the beginning stages of my career, I was mostly a part of a crew situation where we were trying to get the artist off the ground. So like First and 15 started with Lupe, Chili, me, and Stack Bundles, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Goon Squad, J, Kanye himself. We had the Go Getters, you know what I'm saying? If you look, we was all trying to gather our resources and go get a deal. So the music and the beats we was making, bro, it wasn't for other people. You know what I mean? It was for us. We're gonna make these beats, we're gonna do these raps, we're gonna woo woo woo, and we're gonna go get this deal, which successfully we did. Like Kanye got a deal, Bump got a deal, Lupe got a deal, LEP got a deal. You know what I'm saying? We was getting some deals. But after a while, as a producer, you kind of got a stockpile of music, and if the artists you're working with aren't using it, then what do you do with it? You know what I mean? So you kind of by default eventually just get into sending it out, shopping it, you know what I mean, sending it to the label. So I'll tell you how I got my first placement, like by myself. So I called Def Jam, right? This is back when they used to have a number on the back of the little promo CD.
Yeah.
Still from Power Nation. Ferris and y'all have all those CDs. We just take all them promos home. But it had a number. Every label probably had a number. They had the address, everything. So I just called up to Def Jam, true story. I was like, can I speak to an A&R? It was like, what A&R do you want to speak to? I was like, I don't care. Just put me on the phone with one. So they put me on the phone with a lady named Philean Knight, right? She was an A&R at Def Jam. So I talked to her. I was like, man, my name's Boogz. I'm a producer, up and coming producer from Chicago. I've worked with No ID. I worked with Kanye West. And Kanye was a new name. Dion was he was more of a veteran. You know what I mean? I just started dropping shit. Like I worked with Traxter, hadn't worked with Traxter. I was like, I worked with Wild Style. I'm just naming motherfuckers and shit, right? So she was like, well, send me some stuff. I was like, man, I'll overnight it. So she was like, make sure it's certified so we can sign for it. So I get my CD together, I used to put all your info on the front of the CD, your name, your number, your email, whatever. So I send it to her. She calls me back like 2 days later. She was like, man, I really like these beats. She was like, I'm going in with Method Man. I'm going in with DMX. She was like, I'm going to play them for them. So she played them. DMX picked one. Method Man picked two. So basically, long story short, that ended up being Method Man and Ludacris on Rodeo off of Method Man's third album. But what I'm saying is, I just called the label. So my point in all this is the process to getting a placement. There's really no specific way to do it. You just gotta want to do it, and then an opportunity or a roadmap to the placement will present itself. You know what I mean? Because you can go through a manager, or you can. It was so many ways, but we didn't have access to those people. Like you can't DM nobody. You know what I mean? You couldn't. You had to actually get somebody on the phone. You had to.
Let's go.
Let me say that again. I just wanted to edit it good. you had to go to the music seminars, things like that. And, run into the artists that were in town. The radio stations would have events. You try to get backstage. You did whatever you could. You come walking around. You got 2, 3 CDs in your pocket. You know what I mean? In your academics jogging suit pants with the zipper on them because it had the zipper so it wouldn't fall out. You know what I mean? You had your champion hoodie on with 3 beat tapes in your pocket, waiting to try to run into Myth Bleak or somebody Beanie Single. But that's just how it go. Nowadays it's a little easier.
Definitely a little
but
easier.
it's still harder because it's a little oversaturated. One thing that gave a lot of us producers, especially in Chicago, there were very few of us that actually had these $2,500 pieces of equipment. You know what I mean? So, and just to be on a purely honest scale, man, if you wasn't linked in with a street, a heavy street cat, you wasn't getting on, bro. I'm just telling you, because where was you gonna get the financing?
Got you. And that's and you know what? That was, I guess you want to say, I didn't understand that part. You know what I'm saying? Like we, in my production situation, of course, I was just sitting in the room, and then I linked up with Manny Mo. Manny Mo produced Short Dick Man. You know what I'm saying? 20 Fingers or something like that. And like, so I linked up with him, and I was, basically doing music through him. A lot of time prior to that, even doing music with him, I was doing my own stuff on Dance Mania. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing the tracks and stuff like that. And, of course, my first beat machine or introduction to a beat machine was the RZ1. And shout out to Jenna Rush. Jenna Rush introduced me to beat making. That was something I just didn't think I could do. You know what I'm saying? But she was down there messing with it. She left it at my house for about a week or two. And from there, it just started. You know what I'm saying? And I made one track. called Sega, and I passed it to everybody. And then somebody stole it. The dude who stole it put it out, bro. It didn't give me credit. And God rest his soul, Paul Johnson. He was the person that, he would say like only a few people in the city had equipment. That was that dude. Paul had equipment. He was the only person with an MPC and a mix.
Well, he's a legend.
He was the only one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody went to his house to produce, and he was in his little kitchen, bro, with a big, I want to say 36 track board. It was sitting on the sink. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy.
He did. One of them ate outside of them.
Hey, man, it is what it is. It definitely is what it is. Now, let's talk about right now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The producers of today, you was talking about how saturated it is, and then like Fruity Loops came along and like changed my life because I was one of them dudes like staring at the MPC 3000 like I gotta get one of these, but my mama ain't gonna be able to give me the money to get one. You know what I'm saying? I'll go there every day. You know what I'm saying? But talk to me about today's producers and what's going on in the game.
That's in what regard?
Well, let's see. Let's talk about the positive part. The fact that they share a lot of stuff with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like my son produced, right? And a lot of his inspiration came from, he watched me make beats and everything, but he talked about this little boy named Nick Mirror. Now, Nick Mirror will get on live and just make a beat from scratch. You know what I'm saying? He's showing them the plugins. He's showing them how to place the beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was unheard of back in the day. You know what I'm saying? To me.
No, it was. If you didn't have access, once again, to somebody, like you said, Paul Johnson, like me, it was like, Jamal from like Rio and Jamal. Like I said, my brother Fonz and them, No ID, Kanye. If you didn't have access to somebody like that, then you either gonna have to learn on your own, or bro, you just gonna have to watch like Rap City and try to, watch Beat Street and see if you can catch a Smack DVD or something, you know what I'm saying, with somebody in the studio. Because you're right, you didn't have that information. It wasn't available to us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like DJing, segue, like I DJ, I battle DJ, I cut, scratch, behind the back, all the execution stuff. I learned that from buying DMC Battle DJ videotapes from Doug Infinite's skate shop. So I'm watching, the X-Men, I'm watching DJ Babu, I'm watching all them battle, and I'm just stopping the videotape, going back to my tables, practicing that scratch, practicing that juggle. So as far as DJing, it was more information available. But like you said, when it came to producing, especially hip hop, R&B, urban production, house wise, it was different because there was some people that can show you some house stuff. You can go see house music, somewhere. But this shit here, see, people got to understand Chicago's not really a hip hop town. You know what I mean? We just got here. You know what I'm saying? Like 30 years ago, they wasn't playing hip hop on the radio. It wasn't happening like that. It wasn't a normal thing. Like there's people such as, rest in peace, Pink House. You know what I mean? DJ Ferris, Ramonski Love. You know what I mean? They pushed for hip hop to be on the airwaves. Spank Boogie, people like that. It wasn't there, bro. So not only did you not have information to how to produce it or access to it, you couldn't even hear it. You know what I mean? And then if you did, like, you wasn't going. It was just different, man. So like people like such as yourself, like I said, Ferris, still rocking it. Y'all giving us like, look, I'm doing an interview for Power 92. G. I make beats. When did producers get interviewed on the radio? That just shows you where we are now. You know what I'm saying? We progress. We here.
Definitely.
Well,
we made it.
You see what people like Kanye did? Like he took producing to, well, he took it somewhere else. You know what I mean? We still riding on his coattail. You know what I mean? He showed us the way, bro. Like he didn't invent it for us. He wasn't the first, but he was Jordan, bro. Once he got it, it's over.
Yeah, he got in a headlock right now. He has the entire world across the board with products. I'm gonna say products like that.
He's the info that we need. He's the one. Like I said in previous interviews, he stepped on all the landmines. You know what I'm saying? Like he checked the path so people such as Dion, who is a mentor to him, was able to learn from him. Traxter was able to learn from him. Of course, me, that's my sensei. I definitely learned from him. All the way up until, future people, the Young Bergs and the, you know what I mean, the Excels and bro, like somebody's gotta get it, bro. He's Neo. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. I was about to go into the Yay movement. You're a part of it and everything. Like, what's his process for picking music? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does he do? Like, and then like equipment wise, what does he record on? You know what I'm saying? What do you like recording on? Me and my boy was talking about that. What's going on?
Well, from working with him, what he chooses music wise, it's all feeling. Like it's not. I don't even think I know it is because there's no cerebral aspect involved. It's all heart, soul, and like groove move. If he ain't feeling it, he ain't feeling it. You can't convince him that, oh, this will work on radio, or you know what I'm saying? Oh man, hey, the shorty's gonna love this. He'll be like, what? I don't like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he goes off of what he feels. But he's so in tune with everything that's going on. You know what I mean? That's why if you look at his demographic, it's really like 8 to 80. Like 8-year-olds know him. But then your great grandmama know him too. You know what I mean? So he just all feel it. And that's why you'll never really know what he's looking for. You know how somebody be like, oh, Kanye, kill this beat. He might hear it and be like, I don't like that. That's why you have to keep presenting them with different ideas, different, textures, different sounds, different whatever. And he knows what he wants. He's gonna pick from that. But it's your job to be you gotta comb the earth, bro. You gotta comb the soundscape to give him what he needs. Now, as far as equipment, he's still ASR 10. Like I'm still ASR 10. It's a certain texture, it's a certain sound that it has. Now there are, producers that we work with, they're using Logic, Ableton, but we ASR 10 guys, we still use 10. Me, I use everything. But
Right.
like when I sample, like it's going through the 10. Before it goes anywhere else, it's coming through the ASR 10, then back into Pro Tools, Serato sample, whatever. But it's gonna have that ASR texture first.
Definitely, definitely. That, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you sharing that, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, nowadays people don't want to, you find a few that might want to share.
I ain't worried about that, bro, because they not going to go buy no ASRTs. I guarantee you them boys don't go buy no big-ass keyboards.
You know what?
Keyboards no more.
Now, what do you say? What do you say? This is me and my people was having some. I have this idea about sounds. Okay, like when I was producing, I produced from lack. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and all I had was a certain set of sounds. And from there, I was able to become real creative in what I had. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford to get new modules every time a new sound came out. So I had to be more creative. What do you say? Do you buy more sounds, more modules if you got the money, or do you try to like flip it and churn it into something different every time?
I'm with you. Convenience can cause complacency, and limitations force creativity. So you're right. Like we didn't have a bunch of sounds. That's why we were using mostly breakbeats, because here's a open drum loop or open drum break on a James Brown album, or a piece of the president, and we would take the kick, snare, hi-hat, you know what I mean, and make a kick out of it. So we didn't have a bunch of sounds either, bro. You know what I mean? Then you didn't want to use the stock sounds that came with the machine because they suck. You know what I mean? That was like for rock music only, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, somebody like Timbaland, like if you think about Timbaland was like one of the main people to like leave his snare open. You know what I mean? Like he'd leave a kick open, it'd be like boom, 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 boom. And then the beat come on, like the beginning of Nelly Country Grammar. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
We broke that kick. Now we got a kick. You know what I mean? Even though later on you realize them kicks wasn't that good to use because they were already mixed and mastered. And here you are trying to mix it and master it again on top of what's there. But you just didn't know. You just were playing with whatever tools and toys that you had. That's the great part about hip hop, man. Hip hop's the gumbo. We really don't know what we're doing. The best thing about it is to not know what we're doing and end up doing something that can touch the minds, the hearts, and spirits of the listener. But can't nobody really, I can't, no. Can't nobody really explain hip hop, bro. It can't explain production, hip hop production. You know what I mean? It's not like when you start taking piano classes and guitar classes. They start teaching you the basics of the scales, and they're like this, and that, and play. Okay, now change that over to hip hop. How am I going to teach you? How you going to practice your hip hop chords?
What I'm
saying?
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta get in here and wing it and formulate. You do what works for you, find what works for you, find your sound, find your piece of equipment. You know what I mean? If you're gonna be in a band, let's say a rock band, there's different type of guitars, but it's mainly a guitar. Whereas to ours, it's like it's not all MPC, it's not all ASR 10, it's not all DAW. You know what I mean? You never know what you're gonna use to make hip hop. Yeah. You don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so challenging, and it should be more challenging and creative. But unfortunately, people only do what it takes to win. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't care if they're learning anything about it. It's like not how you play the game is whether you win or lose. So if you can do a whole bunch of minimalist beats and make some money, you're going to get the accolades, praise of somebody that's actually more knowledgeable in music theory or what have you. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. That's how them haters be talking. Like, yeah, Shorty do a bunch of trap beats. He got platinum records. Well, you went to Juilliard and learned, you know what I'm saying, how to play the piano, and you got a platinum record. Don't knock him for how he got to his though. You know what I'm saying? You
True.
should be looking to learn from him. Maybe he has a more of a minimalist approach to production that can help you in your complex strings and orchestral. Maybe you doing too much. Maybe he not doing enough. Maybe y'all should work together. You know what I mean? And that leads us to where we are now. We're in a more of a collaborative effort. Like if you look at a beat and you see one name on the beat, man, let me know. And if that one name is on the beat, did he actually make that beat by himself? Or is he not crediting his keyboard? Is he not giving credit to his little shorty that programmed some of them drums? You know what I mean? It's not like before, man. Everybody eats beat, you know, everybody gets the proper credit. And, you know, it a lot of industry veterans frown upon the process because it looks like you're not producing. Now you still producing. It's just these are the elements. Everyone's an ingredient to the sauce. You know what I mean? Everyone contributed to the final product of the meal. And I'm pretty sure when a lot of producers hear this and see this, they're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Who cares how many names on the beat? You like it? You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters.
Yep. Yep. That's the move right there. And you know what? That's a I'm glad you brought up that concept as far as like different people and the different ingredients, okay? And a lot of times, you know, people, you know, there's no liner notes in a lot of this music that come out nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So you won't see the name of a keyboardist or a guitarist or a person that played the harp. You know what I'm saying? On the
Let's go
string.
to title. Shout out to title.
Yeah.
Title makes sure that they keep the credits going.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
Shout
oh
out
no,
to
title's the one. Like if you look at Pitchfork or Wikipedia, they'll even tell you like credits from title. So title is the one that they get it right.
okay.
Spotify has production credit, but they don't have engineering and studio credits. Title lists them all. Whatever you submit to your to the whatever the back end, I don't know what it's called. Whatever you submit in and you type in, title's gonna list it. Everybody else, I don't know why they haven't caught up yet.
Yeah, that needs to
But
happen. You
that
know what I'm
started with
saying?
Jay though. Let's get not to cut you off. Let's give Jay and them credit for that
Yes.
because that happened while he was the owner of Tidal.
Yeah.
Remember, he's the one talking about always reading the credits, so he made sure credits were him and his team. They made sure the credits were listed. And I mean, I know he sold it, but they still practice that policy, which helps a lot of us out because now people know, you know, actually what our contributions were, which helped towards, you know, more placements, more articles, things of that nature. Other than
Absolutely.
that, you know, it was short.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, shorties, understand, being a producer doesn't mean you're the only person in that room that can create the song. It could be other people that can help you get where you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to call in that church
But look,
pianist. You
they don't
know?
know what they don't know what producing means. Like they don't really know how to produce a record. They know how to contribute to a record. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like a lot of times they get production credit because a producer such as myself, I know that they produced on the record. So I make sure they get production credit. If you were to ask them themselves, they wouldn't know that what they did was production. You know
Well,
what I mean?
okay,
So you gotta
wait. Please explain for the people who might not understand that right now. They just think that making beats and
oh
sending the
no,
beat
no,
off and
no.
they rap on it, they
No.
producers. Talk to us
That's
about
that's
that.
like the beat making aspect is one aspect. Like you you can produce a record without actually touching or playing anything on the record. So there's a classical sense, like you got people that play a classical sense, a practical sense, a fit. Do you think, and this is one of the greatest of all time, do you think Quincy Jones played everything on Thriller?
No, absolutely
Quincy
not.
Jones directed, orchestrated, formulated. It's the vision, him and the artist. So everybody on the record, he's producing the record, which means he's actually responsible, involved in every aspect from start to finish. Like a lot of people read, you know, everything you need to know about the music business, all these books. the producer, honestly speaking, I'm gonna tell you another reason why these boys really don't understand producing. You're really responsible for the whole record. Now, if you want to go back in the day, you're responsible for the budget of that song. I'm talking about they might only allot $30,000 for this whole song to get done. You got to stay within budget. See, they don't know about budgets. You know what I mean? And it's cool. It's just certain aspects they didn't get to learn. Some practices are, now omitted and discontinued from the business. But there's a whole lot to producing. Things that I didn't know 4 years ago, I know now. Things I didn't know last year, I know now. Things I didn't know 20 years ago, of course I know now. You know what I mean? So all this time you calling yourself a producer, you really just get credit in that slot. Somebody's got to get credit for the producer. So you're the producer because you made the beat. But in a sense, the engineer actually helped produce on that record. He should be credited as a producer. You know what I mean? They're A&Rs and people at the label, such as executive producers, who have contributed greatly to the production of that song. You see what I'm saying? If you look at it from a film standpoint, the producer of the movie doesn't necessarily direct the movie. Rarely do they direct the movie. So in our sense, people are trying to say that the actor and the director would be producers. Think about it. The rapper but no, the producer of a movie gets the movie done. He might even hire you to make the beat. He might hire you to do the vocals. He's the producer. He's gonna hire the engineer. He might hire the mastering engineer. He's gonna tell us what studio we going to. This is why people such as a No ID, a Kanye. Kanye's a producer, bro. Super producer. He gonna be like, we gonna hear make the beat. We gonna hear we doing this. We gonna use this, that, boom. And then he has people such as myself. You know, of course, Mike Dean, plenty others. Like I know microphones. I'd be like, he's gonna use the U87 on him. That voice right there, that's a little basic. Let's change these speakers. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this. Like we know that part. You know what I mean? You got to know everything. So they're in the early stages of production, and they'll all become producers if they stick with it, man. They'll learn it, man. You know what I mean? Stuff I didn't know. I thought I was a producer running around town. I made the beats for Bump J. You know what I'm saying? I produced for Bump J, and I did produce for Bump J. But I also produced for this person. I produced for everybody, but I wasn't the producer I was now. So there's levels to this.
Definitely. And that's the part that people really don't get. And I'm glad you're here to explain that. You know what I'm saying? Because, in the industry, again, it's a lot of knowledge or misinformation too. You understand what I'm saying? Like people, spinning some wheels and throwing people in other directions just to get them off the real path or what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you expressed that information because we need to know that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young producers coming up in the game right now, they don't know. They just think I turned on Fruit Loops, I made the beat, and like I said, I send it off to the homie and I produced the song. You know what I'm saying? I mean, which essentially that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of other elements that come along with making that record. You know what I'm saying?
The homie should get production credit because he actually helped bring it home. But if he do that, they'll be like, "No, man, you the rapper, man. You ain't supposed to get. I'm not supposed to get something credit for something I did."
Yep.
Yep. So it's a tricky subject.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? But those of us that know what production is, you know what it is. You know when somebody produced on that record, when they did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, as far as the future of Boogz, you know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything in the future as far as you coming out with a beat album? You know what I'm saying?
You said a beat album.
Yeah, a beat album. I mean, we was just listening to, me and my son was listening to Jay Dilla. I was like, just listen to because he's in the beginning of his production. He makes some good stuff, but I was like, you got to expand your mind and think differently. You can't just make all trap beats. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to really get eclectic with the music. Unless, I was just talking about samples, because he was like, I was listening. He was like, Dad, I was going through your music and I heard that the song Selfish. And it's like the beat is so crazy. I was like, well, they sampled it from Aretha Franklin and da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So when you coming out with your joint so we can analyze
Man,
it?
I got a lot of things in the pipeline. I'm
Okay.
got a label I'm coming with. It's gonna be a lot of announcements and future things coming. But I want to speak on your son and what you're saying about like him doing our trap beats. We make what we enjoy listening to. Nobody wants to make something they wouldn't listen to. That's whack. The issue is if he, let's say he's making all trap beats. Let's say a lot of shows they're making all trap beats, they're making all drill beats. The more you introduce him into new sounds, new genres, whatever, it's how does he incorporate that into his trap beats? You see what I mean? So if he's listening to, all right, if he made a bunch of quote unquote trap beats with Brazilian soul samples, you'd be like, yo, that's different.
Yes.
And it'll be the same drums. But it's the fact that they just keep tinkling with the little, omnisphere sounds that makes it, it all sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because the part that's trapped about it is the same drum sound. That's what makes it sound that way. 808 boom, 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 in the same 808 snare. But if they start putting samples on it, then even our old butts would be like, yeah, that's kind of hard right there. But it'll be the same drums from the trap beat.
Right.
So what we listening for, we're listening for what we want a lot of them to have is more musicality. We want more instrumentation and music on it instead of the regular ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff I try to like, hey man, everybody telling you how to make beats. I'm trying to get you to season your, your food a little different before you start cooking it. And when the people taste it, they're gonna notice it's something different about your meal than that meal. Even though it's the same ribs, the same chicken, chicken is chicken, ribs is ribs, but yours is seasoned different. So I just try to teach them to season it a little different. You know what I mean? You'll see a difference. Don't be doing that you know what I mean, that Paula Patton chicken style, you know what I mean? We don't want to do that.
All right. Now, as far as a producer, maybe this person who watching this and they saying to themselves, like, what do I need? You know what I'm saying? What could I get now? I know, there's a few special pieces that you have in your repertoire as far as equipment you're using, but like, what could I go and get right now so I can start making music?
That's what I mean. It's me personally. I'm recommending FL. I like FL.
Okay.
And I don't really use it. I used it more years ago than I do now, and that was because they had I had a bunch of applications and programs and plugins that just weren't available on Macs. You know what I mean? So I would take my 2-track or my sample, put it in FL, do a little altering, you know what I'm saying, mess with it, bring it back into, Pro Tools or Logic. Mm-hmm. But I would say FL, it's the one-stop shop. They got everything in there. You know what I mean? Now, staying on FL for life, that's not really progress. Because, you might want to incorporate some Ableton stuff. You might want to bring some hardware in, some real Junos, Rolands, MPC drums or whatever. But, as far as it being your DAW and being your starting point, I do not mind it. People got to understand, man. Let's talk about this youth, man, especially Black children. This is professional equipment we use. Like, think about it. When we were young and, me and the Kanye's and we were 15, 16 using MPC, and that's a professional production tool. That's the same thing Teddy Riley and them was using. But here we are 15, 16 using this shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at an FL, that's a digital audio workstation. This is a computer program with a lot of complex layers and stuff to it. Basically, you damn near gotta go to DeVry to learn this stuff. You know what I mean? UIC. So here we are. 13-year-olds, literally 13-year-olds, 11-year-olds that know how to use professional music production, recording, equipment, software, what have you. That lets you know who we actually dealing with. These boys are geniuses, boy. These Rembrandts over here.
Yes.
They just, you know what I mean? These ain't thugs. These boys are super intelligent. They super passed us up. I remember when computer-based production started getting into it, right? And No ID was like the first one because you would buy equipment and they'd give you like Reason trial version. You know what I mean? They'd give you all that. Dion was the first one to be like, man, you need to go get Logic. So I went and bought Logic and Apple. This is like my first foray in the computer-based music production. And I'm a computer genius. So it worked for me. But other people that was still on the ASR and the MP and the, man, they looked, that was Chinese to them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, so what, you got the track? So you just put it on the track and you can like put your MP3 in, you know, I'm trying to explain it to them and they like, nah, I just use my MP, man. But then flash forward, right? You get to the shout out to Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder was like the first person to really be selling beats on FL in hip hop. But then you get into, let's say Chicago, got to shout out the Chopper. You get into the young Chop, Chief Keef, Lil Durk in them era, and Chop is killing us on this FL. And he didn't even have a laptop. He was walking around with this big computer. You remember when Chop used to go to the studio? He had this monitor and a big computer and just be sitting there on the ground making beats using FL. But he making Don't Like, he making, 300. We sitting there like, so what we doing with this MP? Why we pay so much for Logic? We paid $2,000 for Logic. You know what I'm saying? We got all these speakers. Shorty over here destroying us. Destroying us with a free program. You know what I'm saying? He used to come to New York. We'd be in New York. He'd be out there working, like when Ye flying there. I'm sitting here like, this little dude's a genius, man. But he was one of the geniuses. Then you start looking around, you got Southside, you got Metro Boomin, you got Sunny Digital, you got, you know what I mean? You like, all right, it's something going on here. And I ain't gonna miss it. So like I said, I'm not an FL user, but I'm an FL incorporator. You know what I mean? It's certain things. So that's how my whole style and sound, I'm a hybrid, bro. Like I got the ASR 10, but yet still I'm using Logic. I'm using Ableton. I'm using Pro Tools, but I'm also using the MPC. I put it all in. It don't matter, because there's a texture and a sound to each one, and sometimes they mesh better together. But it's all in what you make it, man. It's everybody's different spices and seasons to make the food.
Yes, sir. Yes,
People
sir.
gotta eat, though.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. People definitely coming up with their own. I appreciate like what's going on, but I do remember like trying to introduce the computer based stuff in the beginning to a few people that was and of course they was like old school, like that. It sound like a toy. What is this? It sound too thin. Blah 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 blah. I'll never forget. I submitted some tracks to a record label. I won't say their name, but the tracks. You know what he told me? He said, "Your music is too clean." I was like, "Huh?" Like I fought. After of recording on tapes with hums, bad drum machines. You know what I'm saying? Like. Things ain't grounding in the house, so it's coming through your samples. When you record on your mic, you still get this hum. Like, but it sounded good to me. But what he told me was my music was too clean, bro. I was like, that was at the beginning.
Too clean for who?
Huh?
It's too clean for the people he's trying to sell it to and impress. You see what I'm saying? That's why we don't listen to that. It might work for a particular artist, but that same sound doesn't work for this artist. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to a Jay-Z album, Jay-Z don't rap on clean like that.
Mm-hmm.
But T.I. might rap on clean now. You know what I mean? It all depends on what works. Like, do you really want Moneybagg Yo's album to sound like Ye's album, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Some songs require clean, some require dirty, some require clean and dirty. You got a dirty sample with clean drum. I don't want nobody's album to sound the same. I want it all to be different. That's why we listen to it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole point of this, man. So I said it's the gumbo. They keep telling us, I said earlier, how can you explain how to do this? Who can actually tell you? So for those that try to tell you, bro, that's the arrogant, narcissistic, megalomaniac approach, and they probably whack as hell. And you can tell them Boogz said
it. He's listening now.
you.
Hey, well, look. What about this? This is another question that most producers don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody love to use the quote, I made 5 beats a day for 5 summers. You know what I'm saying? Or 3 summers. I forget the lyric.
That was a real thing, though. That was real. Like that wasn't just a bar. That was a real life experience that became a bar.
Okay. Now, how often should a person sit in the room and make music? Should they create hours or
every minute that you're not using to either sleep and reset your body or work to provide food, clothing, and shelter for yourself, or school, depending on, your age and your situation. Every spare moment you got needs to go into some aspect of creating, learning, knowledge, whatever. So if you're not making beats, are you at the studio watching the engineer mix? Are you, because you can spend hours on YouTube, like you said, gathering the information. That's still working to me. Yeah, you're not sitting there, programming drums, chopping samples, messing with sounds. Yeah, but you've been watching, documentaries. You've been watching, like you said, Nick Mira, whoever, make a beat. That's still a part of the process. You should be doing something. See, all this spare time, yeah, we'll see. You gotta remember, I ain't no youngin'. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say something real. I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna be doing at 40 something. I'm doing it. They still gotta figure out, one, if you go look as good as we do. Second of all, you know what I'm saying? Second of all, where your life gonna be. You know what I mean? See, this is our careers. We didn't mess around with. This is what we do. This is how we raise the kids. This is how we feed ourselves. This is how we clothe ourselves. And it's because of that love and that pure passion that we have for this art form. You know what I mean? For the music, period. So when I try to tell them, like, man, is this what you really want to do, or is this something you just doing? You know what I mean? Or something you just know how to do. I know how to play basketball. I knew I wasn't going to the league. You know what I'm saying? This is my league. I'm in the NBA. You in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like, so they got to realize, if this is what you want, bro, it's available for you. This game will teach you. It will take care of you. It's going to frustrate you. It's going to make you mad. It's going to do everything. What do you want to do? And a lot of people this is the choice to avoid going to school. This is the choice to avoid getting a job. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna work that way, G. It ain't gonna work that way.
Okay.
They'll be 24 now. They'll be 29 years old. Talking about, man, the game suck, man. Don't nobody want to hear these beats, man. They all want that. They all want the same beat. Yeah. You better evolve, brother. Don't be messing around out here. This is music. There's no rules to it other than make it good.
Definitely. Now, for the broke people, you know what I'm saying? Such as myself at one point, before somebody recommended to me to get a job. But you said it. You said a hint of it, like providing, shelter, food, clothing for yourself and everything.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay. And that's what I think that's the part that kind of gets mixed in translation. It gets just messed up because I'm like, yo, you still have to, before you go off and be a platinum producer and sell all these beats for thousands of dollars, you still have to eat and keep your phone on and buy clean
Yeah.
drawers. You know, clean your drawers. You know what I'm saying? It costs money to go to the laundromat. So you gotta have some money coming in. You know what I'm saying? You know, did you have was you like all the way production, or did you have a
Oh
job?
no, bro. No,
Okay.
I done had the highest of highs, the lows of lows, ups, downs, peaks, valleys, P Valley. But oh no, man. I had jobs before. You know, this like I said, it's a learning experience, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
along with the process. You sometimes you gotta go get that job, you know what I mean? Everybody wasn't fortunate enough to have income coming in via music all the time. Sometimes you was great, yeah, I'm talking about some great time. The next thing you know, it ain't like you know, just frivolous with your money. It's just event. How long is $25,000 gonna really last? You know what I mean? If you don't have consistent checks coming in, how long is it gonna last? You know, and you gotta do what you gotta do. Then you got your daughter, your son over there, they gotta eat. Well, DMX say, sure, you can't eat no books. You know, you gotta eat, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you get off work, when you have, downtime, daddy downtime, you know what I mean? Bro, you gotta get on the beat. And
Yeah.
I know, and this goes out to my male producers. Listen, man, this about to sound real Kevin Sanders. She gonna be there, man. And if she ain't there, I guarantee you when you make it, somebody's there. Somebody gonna be there. You got to do what you have to do as a man. We can go biblical. We can get into the Quran. You have duties and responsibilities as a male, even before you become a man. And I'm telling you, you gotta stick to it. And the first one is to be able to feed yourself. All the little boys taking on families and getting these girls pregnant. Now you got to be a provider. Now you go from man to patriarch. You know, I know that's we getting a little too old in the convo now, but
No, no, no. But I think it's important that you say that because because what's going on is there's a lot of babies having babies and don't
yeah, bro.
understand the responsibility of being a man. You know, they just see the glitz and the glamour and everybody going up and the money and stuff, but don't really understand the basic part of like you got a kid now. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole shorty. You
Look,
made
I've
people.
also I've also seen I've also seen. All right, one thing about being older is you've seen, experienced, or what have you, the consequence or the result of most things. You know how your mama or whoever be like, man, it's only two ways you're gonna end up doing that, dead or in jail. That's because they know people that are dead or in jail.
Mhm.
They didn't come up with this overnight just to scare you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They've seen this. See, we don't remember our parents' friends dying and going to jail. We only remember ours. So that's why we tell our kids the same thing. Well, they had people in the 70s that went dead and went to jail. You know what I mean? So as far as the music business is concerned, like when I tell them, like, man, I'm telling you, you need to do this. You need to make sure you publish it in order. Like, you got a lawyer, or you ain't got a lawyer. Like, you have to have certain ducks in a row. Otherwise, one, you're not going to be able to even receive the money that you earn. You won't even know where it's at. You don't even have your people in order to go find it, bro. You could be having internet. This is something that you didn't ask, but I'm gonna have to get in this. You can have $20,000 in international streams or sales or what have you, royalties over there, and you could be sitting at the crib broke, talking about, man, I'm waiting on this check. I'm waiting on this check. Boy, you got about $25,000 over there in Germany. You know what I'm saying? But you're
Yeah.
not set up to collect it. You ain't
Mm.
set up to get it. Like, there's certain, you're not, like, even when people sell beats to labels, they're not even in the system to get paid. So let's say the Universal system, Universal Music Group. You be like, I just sold a beat to so and so, man. They gonna give me like 10,000. They be like, man, why they taking so long with the check? Boy, you're not set up in there, man. They don't have your routing number. They don't have that, but that's because you don't have a manager. You know what I mean? You don't have a business manager. You don't have your team. And a lot of boys, a lot of people, not boys, they come into the game ill prepared, unprepared, you know what I mean, unknowing. And that's why they know me. They know they can call Big Bro whenever they want. Trust me, they flood my DM. They texting me. Big Bro, I got a question, Big Bro. And I'm always available to answer. They'll tell you. They can hit me now. Anybody watching this, Boogz the Beast, Instagram, Boogz the Beast. Hit me up. I'll get back to you. They need to know. It doesn't make sense to be so creative, making all this amazing music, killing the dance floor, you know what I mean? Going up and down the charts, airwaves, for you to allow somebody to steal it from you. For you to allow somebody to, keep you from the earnings or your, the monies and the proceeds that you made via your creativity. We gotta get you all steady night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why somebody like myself, and I know a Young Berg, and you know what I mean, like, bro, a lot of us have talked to him. A lot of us have talked to him. I think I'm gonna start one of them firms when it's over. And people like my man Wayne over there at Create Music Group, they'll go find your money, bro. I'm telling you, they'll go find your money, bro. Because it's not really, you in the music business not because of what you've earned. You kind of earn your stripes by what you lost.
Yeah.
And what you know what I mean? Like you said, that dude stole your beat and put it out. Bro, welcome to the music business.
That's how I got introduced to it.
You didn't feel like you was in the music business because you made the beat. You felt like you was in the music business because you got burned. You know what I'm saying? Now you like, okay. Now I got it. No, okay, I got to get it together now. This ain't gonna happen again. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
you take the good with the bad, yin and yang, hand in hand, man. That's what we're doing.
That's what's up, man. I just gonna turn it into a consulting situation because I want to ask you more questions about just a lot of people are really confused about publishing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a
long. We just shout out to my boy Mag and what's the boy name? Nappy 3700. He just got a sync licensing deal for a couple of licensing deal for a TV show called 63rd or 61st.
Oh yeah, 63rd, 63rd. I saw that. I gotta watch it. I didn't start watching it yet, but I know about the show though.
Yeah. So it's a lot of
man. Publishing is something that we're all still learning, even those of us that know about it. But I will say this though. I don't know if I'm explaining it well. There might be some publishing gurus out there that make me think I sound crazy. When it comes to production, let's say, or even in a label situation, artist, there's an artist and producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of publishing, we're all songwriters. There is no artist and producer.
Yep.
In publishing, you're a songwriter. And how much of the song do you own? See, this gets into a whole nother topic. So everybody tell you to buy land, right? They be like, buy land, God ain't making no more of it. Everybody gets somebody they want to start it. I'm about to buy a building. You need to get you a 2-flat. You need to get you a multi-unit. Well, that's property, right? They're speaking about property and the ownership of property. You want one of them the brownstones down there on 43rd. You want this building on 72nd. You want this house over here in Inglewood, this other house in Beverly. Well, your publishing is your percentage in the intellectual property. So basically, look at it like if a beat is done, if me, Ferris, and Nathis made the beat. Well, two ways to look at this. I'm gonna give you the old school way, where the current way is. There's 50% to the writing, the lyric writing of it, and there's 50% to the music side of it, right? So me, you, and Ferris have split the music side 3 ways. But then G Herbo, Lil Durk, and Dreezy, they on the lyric side. We're all songwriters. Now, there's another way to do it where some people just split everything, equally. That has to be agreed upon. Most of the time, it's going to be split the way I said it. Music, lyrics. Now, all six of us have proprietorship into this record. We all own a piece of this one song, which is the building. All six of us own this building. Now we negotiated what percentage of the building we own. Basically meaning if they wanted to use that in the new Friday movie, if you don't sign off, the other five of us can't get paid.
Oh.
Basically, you can't sell that building, G, without me, Dreezy, Herb, Dirt, and Ferris agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
So look at it in a property sense. We own the song. We owners of this song. Now we can get into how the percentages and things, how publishing distributed, how monies are collected, bro. That's a whole. When I tell you, that's a whole nother can of worms. I'm just letting people see what you have in the terms of ownership. That's why they tell you, don't sell your publishing. Don't sell your publishing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And split sheets, people. That's what I'm gonna just break it down. When you go in the studio with somebody and you working, they always say, "Put your splits down right now." You know what I'm saying? Before we all get too deep.
That rarely happens, though. It rarely happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
like we said, flipping back to what we said earlier, when you got 8 producers on a record and 4 of them never met each other, how do you do a split sheet prior to the release of the song?
Yeah.
So it has to. A lot of times it's negotiated right before the song's released, and fortunately, but unfortunately, it's negotiated post-release. And anybody will tell you like the record will come out and y'all still negotiate because you want to feed it to the fans. You want to give the fans what they want. You want to give it to the people. We'll deal with our internal, negotiations and issues later. But we're not going to deny the shorties and the people ready to, it's summertime, man. You got time to be talking about, man, you still, listen, man, sign off, get the record out, we'll handle that later.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's not the greatest business practice, but, it happens, man.
Sometimes you got to get it done. Now,
anybody that's out there actually moving, like selling beats and they know what I'm talking about.
Right.
They know what I'm talking about.
Independent.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good for, what I'm saying? Right now, producers becoming rappers and they are doing a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Explain being independent to a producer who wants to get a rapper and start like doing the label thing. Like, what does that mean? What do they got?
A producer putting out a song or an album?
Album. I want to like a person want to put out a full project.
You can do it. You can do it the way you want. You know what I mean? Get some. I would definitely have a lawyer. I would definitely have my lawyer intact because you're gonna have contractual situations with the artist. You know what I mean? Like especially if that artist has a major label situation. You're gonna have to get them to clear it. Then who's gonna do the paperwork? Now, the main thing about being independent, especially if you don't have a distributor, like a major distributor such as let's say Empire, you know what I mean, or like I think 30 Tigers or whoever, that's who Lupe goes through. Who's gonna do your accounting? See, people talk all this stuff, man, but they don't know. So now it's like I'm putting this out independently. I got source on there. Okay. Let's say this song blow up and go. Where my money at, man? I ain't trying to be chasing you down. You know what I mean? So in a sense, this is why you do the 80-20 with the distributor because they'll handle the accounting. They're gonna pay us. You know what I mean? And for this, who's doing the administration? Because if you're doing the administration as well, now I'm coming knocking down your door looking for my money. Like, hey man, this song won't go. Who's gonna collect the monies from Spotify? Who's gonna collect it from Apple Music? You got to be set up for all that. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people just talking, man. I think they really just talking to impress chicks, man. They don't know what they're talking about. Because when it gets serious, it gets real serious. And now you're like, man, where my money at? So have you actually ever really seen a real independent release? Or is it Master P was with Priority? You see what I'm saying? Think about it. Eazy-E was with Priority. Man, where's the independent label? All this independent talk. Where's the truly independent black label? Somebody find it for me. Y'all crazy. Y'all got a distributor, probably a white dude, a white company that's helping you to maintain what you're doing. Now you're getting the lion's share and the bulk of the receipts. You know what I mean? But you don't want to handle all that, man. You don't want to handle all that. That's a cash money universal, brother. No limit priority. I'm telling you, you signed to them boys. But they got help over here because other than that, they don't have time to be running all that. I mean, they just don't, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of work. Definitely a lot of work. Paperwork and calling and emails and
and thank God we're not manufacturing and printing up vinyl CDs and tapes no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then that'll be a whole nother thing. Who gonna ship it out? You know what I'm saying? Is it on that 18-wheeler? How you gonna get it at Best Buy in Cleveland? You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole lot of things we don't have to worry about no more, but we're gonna always have to figure out the accounting of it because you're dealing with people's money, man. This is their livelihood. You at least want to be partnered in or linked up with some type of company or some type of organization that can ensure that people get their money and get it on time. Otherwise, they're gonna come looking for you, and you're gonna get hit with lawsuits. You might get hit with crowbars. Depending on who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? We done heard about it a million times. Then you got tax situations. Where's your business manager? You got an accountant or a CPA on the team? Because you messed my name, man. Oh, we sold a million records. Yeah. Now you're in jail.
Oh my God.
That'll be 6 months.
This is what this is for. You know what I'm saying? This is what this is for. Boogz, bro, we went in right here. You know what I'm saying? This is.
I hope I gave y'all enough to edit.
Bro, we might pull this one and just let it roll. You know what I'm saying? Because this kind of conversation doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. But a lot of it is knowledge, and the way people perish is in the Bible is because of lack of knowledge. And just for you to talk about the fact that you need a CPA and an accountant and a lawyer and somebody that got to go get your money from certain places because they'll just leave it there. You understand what I'm saying? And then they'll claim it for themselves or split it amongst the other people. I heard that before too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't come claim your money, we keeping your money and we splitting up with the guys. You know what I'm saying?
You pay for what you don't know.
Exactly.
Some of these people, a lot of these labels, bro, they keeping the lights on with your money. Think about it. Let's say they're signing new acts to replace you with the money they owe you.
Oh my gosh.
Think about it. The money somewhere, people can be like, oh, they ain't touching it, it's an escrow. And like, come on, man. Oh, they didn't give it to you, they using it. And if you win your lawsuit, they'll give what the judge said they can get. But other than that, they got to use this money somewhere.
Woo. People, pay attention. Y'all should be having this like on repeat in your phone, in your ears when you ain't doing nothing. When you on your way to work, you should be listening to this right here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Black Music Month, Producers Edition. Boogz, thank you so much for spending some time, man, with us over here at Power 92, man, and just giving us some real gems. You know what I'm saying? Like, this right here is so valuable. I don't know. I might have to charge people just to click on this right here because this is consulting. You know what I'm saying? People charge $2,000 a month just to talk about this kind of stuff with other people. And then you only get an hour or 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, brother, thank you so much for your time and everything, man. Anything you would want to say to the shorties right now, just like, I'm watching this. What do you want to tell them, man? What do you want to tell them?
It's I would say along with anything else in life, if this is what you want to do, then learn everything about it. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to do, try to be the best at it. And to be the best is to be the most knowledgeable. I don't care if you want to be a chef. I don't care what you want to do. You want to be basketball? Look at Kobe. Kobe knew everything there was to know about basketball. You know what I mean? He knew about the plays before they even happened. Um, Support, respect, and appreciate the local institutions. Power 92. Shout out Nathan. Shout out to DJ Fair. Shout out to Bam, to Jay Allen. Shout out, you know what I mean? Local, I'm not gonna say local because but people that are local to you, such as my man Daryl Jones, like probably the number one entertainment attorney in Chicago. There are people that you can talk to, people you see in your daily life that they're very instrumental in why you even have an opportunity to do this. And second, they can be instrumental in helping you get to where you need to get to. You know what I mean? Do a favor for a favor, man. Do a beat for Nathan's out. You know what I'm saying? Do like it's we gotta stick together. Like one thing I could say we had coming up, well, we had a community. Like when Bump put a record out, we we was rocking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Crucial Conflict put a song out, the city was with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of internal feuds, especially due to the gang situation, you know what I mean? And some of that stuff will never get resolved, you know what I mean? And it's sad. But when it came to the music, we were able to kind of put that to the side for a second. You know what I mean? And appreciate the art, man. Appreciate the artist. You know, I know sometimes people are like, man, what is Boogz talking about? Sometimes I don't know. I just know it feels like the right thing to say. Shout out to Power 92 once again, and Bam and Nathis for even highlighting the producers for Black Music Month. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. I really enjoyed this. I really appreciated it. And I can't say that there's another radio station that chose to interview me and my brothers that are coming up in the other interviews. So you all are breaking ground, especially in Chicago with this one. And I look forward to viewing everyone else's interviews as well as my own. And I appreciate you guys.
It's all good, brother. Appreciate your time again. Nothing but prayers and blessings to your family. Just everything, brother. Thank you again, man. Thank you for, even when I came to California, me and you just sitting down talking and eating, man. Just, all those stories, bro. I remember a lot of the stories you talked to me about, bro. And it's really dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just happy you doing your thing and you willing to give back. And you willing to open your DM to people, you know what I'm saying, to talk about anything in the music industry. That's important, bro. Community. And you keeping that going. And this is what this is for. You know what I'm saying? People just need to see that because it's not shown, bro. It's not shown.
Yeah. You can only teach what you know. And most of the time you teach it the way it's been taught to you. I can only teach what I know. If I know it, I can offer it, I can help people with it. If I don't know it, I probably know somebody that can explain it better than me. Like my man Lee said, you pay for what you don't know. So that's why we gotta help each other. Because if we don't, then they're gonna go out here without the knowledge and they're gonna have to pay for it. And most of the time, people are going to overcharge them, and it's going to be somebody that doesn't really have their best interest at heart. That's going to run them through the ringer. So if we could at least give them some type of knowledge on their path. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, and especially for y'all that still live here, when you get to LA, brutal, baby. They don't care. They don't care where you from. They don't care who your uncle is. You know what I'm saying? All that. Man, my uncle man, ain't nobody gonna do nothing because my uncle. Boy, they don't care about your uncle. Your uncle ain't gonna stop. Your uncle ain't changing one word in that bogus contract. You better come in with some knowledge. Work ethic.
Man.
That's the realest way I can put it.
Well, that's what's up, brother. We gonna link up, bro. I got your number. We gonna holler. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how to find him. Boogz the Beast on IG. Holler at that boy. You know what I'm saying? He gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? He opening up to you, and he want to see these young people succeed and provide for their families. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it rocking, bro. Thank you again, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know what I'm saying? And when this go up, it's going up, bro. We here. Let's get it, bro.
All right, thank you.
Love, brother. Peace.
Power 92.3 FM.